Hello, and welcome to NECAT's Feel Good Friday, where we talk to local nonprofits about their work here in Middle Tennessee. I'm Dana Shoring, NECAT board member, and I'm joined today by Melissa Hudson Gant, the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Middle Tennessee. Welcome, Melissa. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, Dana, and thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
So, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Middle Tennessee works to provide youth with the guidance they need by matching them with an adult mentor. These relationships have a lasting and strong impression on a young person's life, and I expect on the mentor's life too. Can you tell me a little bit more about how your organization works and who you serve?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, we have been part of the Middle Tennessee community for more than 52 years. We were founded in 1969 by a group of area citizens who really wanted to pour into the young people. They saw an opportunity to invest in the lives and kids, and so they joined the Big Brothers Big Sisters movement and created our local agency. So as you can imagine, our fingerprints are on hearts and minds all over this community. We've been doing this work for more than 5 decades, so there are so many relationships that we're a part of and so many lives that we have had the honor of playing into their story. So, how we work as an organization, we pair bigs and littles together to form a one-on-one mentoring relationship. And the bigs are what we call our mentors, and littles are what we call our mentees. The young people are ages 9 to 16, and they're young people who are looking for a mentor. They're looking for a caring adult to walk alongside them as they navigate life, the transitions from elementary to middle school, and from middle school to high school, and from high school into adulthood, young adulthood. And they're looking for somebody that they can bounce ideas off of, that they can share their feelings with. They can develop their social and emotional skills. We really aim to put tools in the toolbox of kids that they can take with them for the rest of their life that really help them be successful and happy adults.
That's really incredible. And I didn't realize that you all had been in the Middle Tennessee area for that long. Like you said, your fingerprints are everywhere. You've really touched many generations of mentors and mentees. How many bigs and littles are currently enrolled in your programming?
We generally serve about 1,000 young people a year. Between 1,000 and 1,200 annually is how many kids are coming through our program. And we like for our mentoring relationships to last at least a year. One of the things that we all know, and as you can imagine and have experienced in your own life, is that consistency is incredibly important. And particularly important. It's important for all of us at every stage of our life, but it's really important for kids, for young people to have consistency. So having that mentoring relationship for a year is part of us providing stability for them.
Absolutely. What types of activities do bigs and littles do together? I know that you have several different mentor programs. Does that factor into what kind of activities they do?
It does indeed, Dana. And you're so informed about us. We have several different types of programs. The first is our community based program, and that's where the big will go to the little's house, pick them up, and they'll go out in the community and participate in activities together. And as an agency, we put on activities so that we're making it easy and engaging for the big and the little to get together and interact in things that are really fun and productive. Some of the activities that we put on might be climbing at Climb Nashville Gym. It might be playing a sport at a park. It might be participating in a leadership development course that's put on by some of our partners. It might be participating in an art class that we're hosting. So that's how the community-based matches interact. For our site-based, that's when the big goes to the school and interacts with the little at the school, during the school day, during the school year. And those activities might involve, they're really up to the big and little on things that they might enjoy. And so they might eat lunch together, go sit outside and talk and get to know each other, or talk about things that are going on in the little's life, or share aspects of their life together. They might be playing a game. They could be working on homework, doing some tutoring. It's really driven by the young person and their goals and what they want to work on at the time. We do have an e-mentoring program, and that is it's also site-based, but it's structured a little differently. It's a 2-year cohort. It's for juniors and seniors, and they are going through a leadership development curriculum. It's helping them decide and dig into what they want to do when they graduate from high school, and then what are the things that they need to do to get there. So let's say that they are interested in a 2 or 4 year higher education institution. Do they need to take the ACT or the SAT? Do they need to complete their entrance applications? What are the things that they need to do to prepare for that? Perhaps they want to enlist in the military. So, what is it that they need to know about that? What are the questions they should ask to explore to see if that's of interest to them? Maybe they want to go directly into the workforce. So, how do they prepare their resume, developing their interview skills? It's an opportunity for them to explore all the many options that lay ahead of you, and then learn how to prepare for those options. Of course, we remember when we were in high school and at that age, and the whole world is new to you. So, nailing down specifically what you're going to do is not as important as learning the skills to start to explore and prepare yourself for what that is. Um, and those interactions occur through this platform and the guided curriculum, the interactions between the big and the little, and they meet in person 3 or 4 times over the course of the year. It's been a very popular program for volunteers for our bigs because it allows for a lot of flexibility. And those people that have challenges navigating logistics of just getting around our area traffic, though it's improved during COVID, I think that we have surpassed that benefit. It really helps people who have challenges with that and still want to invest in young people, or still interested in volunteering. It's giving them an opportunity to do that. And then our final program is called Sports Buddies. It's a smaller commitment. The big and the little get together 2 times over the course of a month. It's in person, and they are participating in activities that are all arranged by the agency, and they're focused on sports. So it might be that they're attending a Preds game, since our hometown team is doing so well right now. They might be taking a tour at TSU Stadium, to learn about the operations. They might be taking a tour of Titan Stadium to learn about all the different aspects in sports activities. They might be going to participate in a kickball game, anything that has to do with sports.
Wow, so there's a lot of different opportunities for bigs and littles. Especially it sounds like you provide so much for bigs, because I can imagine, sometimes you're like, can I put forth a time commitment? What do I have to do? But I love that you guys have some stuff baked in that will work for both parties, especially the e-mentoring. I mean, I could use that now. Can we?
Right. That's exactly right.
Can I get a big to help me navigate my life now? That's
Mhm.
such a valuable resource for high schoolers. And in addition to these one-on-one opportunities, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Middle Tennessee recently launched a Mentor Corps initiative, which gives bigs the chance to mentor several littles and meet throughout the week. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and why you saw the need for this new initiative?
Absolutely. So, COVID presented us an opportunity, and I think most of us were looking to see how we might make lemonade out of lemons that this last year, the mini lemons that this last year provided us. And so, what we decided to do was step back and evaluate what were some of our persistent challenges. And one of them is that our demand for bigs consistently outpaces our supply. So that means that we always have young people on our wait list, anywhere from 80 to 170 kids. The majority of those kids are waiting. They've come in and said, "Hey, I would really like a mentor. I'd like to have a big, and we say, come on in, no wait. That gave us a lot of heartburn. That's not acceptable to us. And the majority of those kids are boys and boys of color. And so we said, okay, what is a solution? How can we kind of step back and reevaluate this and think about how we can come up with a solution? Additionally, the young people that we're serving, 70% are kids of color who have barriers to success in life for them. So, how is it that we can also help to eliminate those barriers as well as help to create a talent pool for our organization so that we're bringing in the best and the brightest from all of our communities to work on our team. And so that's why we created the Mentor Corps Fellows program. These young people are doing a 1 year fellowship. Some of them are paid fellows. They are mentoring up to 10 young people at a time. So that it allows us, to tenfold expand our ability to serve young people with one Mentor Corps fellow. And in addition, they are completing projects, special projects for the agency. So it's workforce development. We're helping these fellows acquire some work experience. They will merge with a resume and a headshot and a LinkedIn profile. It is also college persistence because we know that a lot of the people in our community, is particularly the communities that we serve, can have to drop out of college because of $800. So we're providing a good and well-paid opportunity for students to support them as they complete their higher education schooling. And then we're also uh, recruiting for the most highly requested profiles of a mentor, and those are men of color. And that's the 70% of the folks that volunteer in our organization are white. And we appreciate and value all of those folks who see the need and place value on our young people and investing in them. And we really want to diversify the pool of mentors that we have so that we're providing the mentors that our littles, our young people, are requesting. And so with the Mentor Corps Fellowship, it's allowing us to kind of cover several initiatives with this one program.
Wow, that seems like it's having a really big impact
Mm.
on the littles and bigs in our community. And you mentioned a little bit about the recruiting. How do you become a big? And you mentioned a little bit about what you're looking for in a mentor, but can you, tell us a little bit more about that and how you really recruit these folks?
Sure. Well, and I'll talk a little bit about who is an appropriate mentor. And if you are, do you care about young people? And are you in a stable position? So we do ask that folks are not going to have any big life event in the course of the next year. So if you're pregnant, this probably isn't a good time for you to start becoming a mentor. If you know that you are about to get a promotion and you're going to move, if you're about to get married, those big life changes that can throw you some curveballs and maybe take a little bit more time than you anticipated. We ask that you get through those and then come back to us when nothing big like that is about to happen. And other than that, we want you to be caring. We want you to be open-minded and really excited to invest in a young person and learn from them. You mentioned earlier that you suspected that this really impacted the bigs as well as the littles, and it absolutely does. I would say that the growth that happens by our bigs very well might surpass the growth that happens from our littles. I think everybody is learning from each other, and one of the things our bigs receive about 10 hours in their first year of training, and this is relationship development. It's social and emotional learning, not just for our littles, but for our bigs. It's teaching you how to interact with other people and how to form these really healthy relationships. And those are skills and that is knowledge that bigs put in their toolbox and they can take with them as well. And it impacts every aspect of their life. So to how we recruit folks to answer that, Dana, we have partnerships with a lot of corporations around town, and we host information sessions. We have two information sessions every month. They're virtual that anyone in the community can attend, and then you can always contact our office and we'll give you more information.
Is there any, I know you mentioned, I think there's an age requirement for littles. Is there for bigs?
Yeah, we do have a high school bigs program in Rutherford County specifically. We also have a college bigs program at a couple of the universities around town. And then we generally like for bigs to be 21 and older.
But any, you can up to 102.
Correct. And in fact, some of our best bigs are retired folks. They are centered and wise, and they have the time.
Yeah, I can imagine. And that's my next question is what type of time commitment is required for a big?
It varies by the program that you participate in, and it's anywhere from, 4 to 10 hours a month are the average amounts of time that you spend on that. If you're involved in the e-mentoring program, there's no travel time. Generally speaking, you're interacting through the platform. So it might be as little as 30 minutes a week. If you're in the community-based program and you are picking up your little and going out to do things every week, that might be 10 hours a month that you're spending. So it's pretty flexible. That's another reason we like to have multiple different types of programs so it fits the time commitment that you have.
Yeah, I love that. And can you select the program that works for you as a big, or do you kind of
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is driven by the big. We want to find the best fit for you so that you're able, when we do that, you're able to show up in the best way you can for your little.
absolutely that makes sense because we're all juggling a lot, but you definitely want to give, you want to make sure that you can put in what you sign up for when you sign up. So,
Mhm.
and then what about your littles? How do you enroll a little, and are there qualifications?
Our kids are 9 to 16 in age, and the qualifications depend on the program. If they're in our community base, then the parent is committing as well because we talk to the big, the little, and the parent every month. We're checking in on the relationship, we're coaching and supporting, and we're making sure that we're moving towards the goals that the young person has set for themselves, and that everybody in the relationship is healthy and it's developing in a safe manner. For our site-based program, the parents do not need to be as involved because those happen during the school days, but we are communicating with the littles and the bigs with regularity as well. So those really the requirement, and that the young person wants is ready for a mentor. This is all, we are youth centered. So that means that we're not forcing an activity or a relationship onto the young person. It has to be something that they're ready for, that they're excited about.
And do parents who want to enroll a little, do they do that on the website or do they call your offices?
Either one, they can visit us at mentorakid.org to learn about the enrollment process and start the process directly from our website.
Okay. And I know last year, I think I saw that Big Brothers Big Sisters made more than 100 big little matches. How do you partner a big with a little? I mean, that sounds like such an enormous task to find, the right match. So how do you do that?
That is a great question, and it is a big task. We are professionally supported one-to-one mentoring, and the professionally supported are our staff, our team, and they're incredibly talented and skilled at pairing two people together who will really get along with each other. It's a best bet match that we like to make. So we spend a lot of time getting to know the big, a lot of time getting to know the little and their family, so we can really put these two human beings together that we think are going to enjoy each other and build a really strong and productive relationship. So it's time, it's listening, and it's experience.
Yeah, that's a really, really great resource. I think if I was enrolling my child or if I was a big, there's comfort knowing you're going to find somebody that aligns with me, or with
Yeah.
my kid. So
Yeah,
that's
and it's the personality, it's the interest, all of those things our team takes into account.
yeah. And I know this last year, we've already mentioned this last year's been difficult, but how have you shifted your programming virtual?
Interestingly enough, we were fortunate in 2019 to make a pretty significant investment into our IT infrastructure, which I think is a testament to how important operations and infrastructure are for all businesses, including nonprofits. And so we were actually able to pretty seamlessly transition all of our staff to working remotely so that they could begin supporting our matches, our bigs and our littles. We found too that we were uniquely positioned for continuity of service because we had this historical cadence of communicating with the big, the little, and the family member every month. We had all of those communication channels established through text and phone and email. So we were able to keep communication open. And we found too that everybody was feeling unstable and unsure, as you can imagine, right? The world was changing daily. And we weren't sure what was going on. And so we made the decision to stop making new matches at the outset of COVID. It's not a good idea to put an unstable adult into the life of a young person who's had all of their support network really contracted because so much of what happens for a young person happens in person and in a building. Their school, their sporting activities happen in person, their music lessons, all the things that they do happen in person. And so we really wanted to focus on supporting the matches that we had in hand. And we were hearing from our bigs, that they were feeling unstable. Maybe their kids were home from school. So that was an extra burden that they didn't have before. Maybe they were picking up additional responsibilities at work because their entire work had shifted. Maybe they were concerned about losing their job because a lot of people were furloughed. So we really focused on our family, the composition of our family that we had at that time, and then started to look at, okay, how is it that we start to conduct virtual activities? And so our team went to great lengths. We have such creative people on our team. We hosted game nights and family feuds, and we had concerts and different things that our matches could participate in virtually. And we also launched a new technology app tool that we are starting to embed in all of our mentoring relationships. It's called Mentor Hub. Uh, and what we found is that this text and video based app is really supporting the development of relationships that have started virtually. It's very different to begin your relationship when you've met person to person than it is for us to meet in this format. So, particularly for a young person, and when you consider that they've been getting most of their interaction on screen, and you might get tired at looking at a screen. So, we took a lot of time and care into figuring out how we were going to make virtual introductions. And what we're finding with the use of this app is that those introductions that have been made with this app are faring better than those matches that were made just utilizing Zoom.
Interesting.
It adds for a lot of depth to the relationship.
Is it a like a two-party app, like they can each interact, send videos, text, and just like have a full engaging relationship via the platform? That
That's
is,
exactly right.
yeah,
And this probably is not going to surprise you, Dana, but young people are more comfortable sharing, opening up and sharing via technology. So texting is a place that feels safer for young people than sharing it face to face. So what we're seeing is that it is really creating a space for depth and
yeah,
connection. So we're never going to replace the face to face with Mentor Hub or technology, but we want to leverage it to augment.
yeah. I can imagine. I mean, they're much more young people today are much more technological. They're more
Oh my
savvy on
goodness.
technology than we are. So it's they're used to embarking on relationships in that space. So that is very interesting. Do you guys partner with Metro Nashville Public Schools? Do you have any tie-in with our school system?
We actually do, quite a bit of our site-based programming. We serve the 8 counties of Middle Tennessee. Of course, our largest population of littles is in Davidson because it's the most populated community. but we do conduct many of our site-based programs at Metro Nashville Public Schools, and we're also in the final stages of completing an MOU with MMPS so we can more extensively begin embedding mentoring into the public school system in Davidson County. So we're really excited about that. We'll be excited to make that announcement with the details.
Yeah, that seems like such a natural fit uh, for your bigs and littles, and to really, help educate more people on the opportunities you provide. And then I also understand you recently partnered with Meharry Medical College to help fulfill a grant scholarship. How does that relationship work?
A phenomenal opportunity for us. And I'll circle us back to the comment I made a little bit ago about how we always have a wait list of young people waiting, and that the majority of those kids are kids of color. And so our partnership with Meharry is really a gift for us that we're terribly excited about. So a longtime big is leading part of the implementation of this scholarship program. Bloomberg Foundation made a very significant investment at Meharry to increase the number of Black doctors in our medical community, and wanted to make this investment to reduce the debt burden that these students carry upon graduation. And as a requirement of receiving this scholarship, the students have to complete community service. So the head of that work within this program is a longtime big, and came to us and said, "Hey, I'd like for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Middle Tennessee to be the community service partner of choice." And so I think there are 240 students in this class at Meharry, and we have about 170, I believe, right now, 170 to 180 that are going through the process to become a big. And they'll be
Wow.
participating in our e-mentoring, our sports buddies, and our community-based programs.
Wow, that's incredible. That seems like a great fit for both organizations.
Oh my
That's really
goodness, absolutely. You know, it's so important for our littles to have the big that they've requested. And if they are, let's say that there is a Black boy who is interested in being a doctor, to have a adult male Black man who is in school to become a doctor, you have to see it to be it. And so it's incredible for our littles to be able to see themselves in their mentor and other adults in the community. They see different versions of success, so they can really begin to imagine all the different opportunities that are in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, representation matters. I think, the
Absolutely.
more you see people who look like you in roles that you want to be in, the more you know it's attainable. So that's going to have a huge impact.
Hmm.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about Big Brothers Big Sisters? Any success stories or anything we haven't mentioned yet?
You know, I'm glad you asked that. We have our class of 2021 is graduating, and it is the second interrupted really graduation for high school students, right? The last year's 2020 class had a very strange graduation. A lot of the activities that normally occur were halted, and really the same for the class of 2021 as well. But I wanted to share something from one of our littles in our program who was sharing about his big. And he said that his biggest takeaway from my time being matched is that there is always someone there for you, no matter the circumstances you're in. From the start, Jonathan, his big, checked in on me, even when COVID hit and I felt unmotivated to text back or check assignments. He kept trying to keep in contact with me. It definitely worked because those messages would make me smile and brighten my day. And I just want to say, that's I think what is so important for all of us to remember is that the really important things happen because you just showed up, because you said you cared. And those are the things that have the most impact on other human beings, and particularly young people. It was really challenging for high school students when COVID hit. Moving. kids, that's a social development is incredibly important at that time. And so when they moved to, a lot of our students moved to remote learning, they felt very isolated. And so knowing that, just Jonathan cared and he was there and, hey man, we got this. I'm here. If you don't respond, that doesn't mean I'm not going away. I'm going to keep coming back. I'm going to be your cheerleader. I'm going to tell you you're okay and you can do this. And now this young man is graduating high school and planning the next chapter of his life. So 90% of life is just showing up, and our
Yeah.
bigs are showing up for our littles in big ways.
Big way. And what just resonated with what you said is when you think about as an adult, like, can I do this? Do I have the time commitment? And maybe that's not even the right way to phrase it, because it doesn't take a lot of time to shoot a text to a
That's
kid
right.
and say, I've got you. I'm with you. What do you need? It's just like you said, it's being there for someone. It's providing that layer of support. It doesn't always have to be, we need to spend 30 hours, a week together. It's let me reassure you that I've got your back. So that's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is, how do we feel when we know people care? And that's
Yeah.
what being a mentor is.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, thank you, Melissa, for joining us today for Feel Good Friday. NECAT is excited to give Big Brothers Big Sisters of Middle Tennessee a chance to tell its story. Before we close out our episode, I am stealing a question from my NECAT friend, Cameron McCaslin. Outside of your job at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Middle Tennessee, what is something that you are feeling good about this Friday?
Well, I'm going to share something that is part of Big Brothers Big Sisters too. We have recently joined an organization called The Table that was created by Kate Wood and Lee Molette, and it's a group that has grown to 177 members. And the purpose of The Table is to make Nashville the model city for equity and inclusiveness, and create opportunities for people of color. And I'm very excited about the people who have joined this organization. I'm excited about our mission and our vision and work together. And I am thankful for the leadership of both Lee and Kate for bringing us together. And really, what I see us doing is taking action steps. So that's what's got me excited on this Feel Good Friday.
Yes, that is very exciting. I'm interested to learn more about that. Can't wait to see where it goes. Well, thanks again, Melissa. The best part of Feel Good Friday is that we are fundraising for a different local nonprofit each week. And next week is Big Brothers Big Sisters in Middle Tennessee. So for the next week, any donations made to NECAT will be split evenly between NECAT and Big Brothers Big Sisters in Middle Tennessee. So simply go to necatnetwork.org and click on the donation page. It's a great way to give back to both invaluable organizations. And if you're watching online, please share this link and encourage others to learn more about Big Brothers Big Sisters of Middle Tennessee. You can also check out their website at mentorakid.org. Thanks for joining us for this week's Feel Good Friday, and we will see you next week.